Knowledge is power, right? So they say. Do you understand the English tense system? How many tenses are there? Come on. 12, that's right. Didn't you know that? 12 tenses. Do you know how to name them? Can you look at a sentence and tell me the name of the tense, the label? Because that's what it is. You need to learn how to label something. The biggest error people make when they're identifying tenses, they look at the sentence and they say, well, so he's at the shop right now, so it must be in the present. And they will just try to form the name of the tense using the timeline. And that's the opposite of what you do. Explaining how you use the tense, explaining the timeline is something that you can do separately. Right now, we're just learning how to name them. It's like reading a medicine bottle. You're reading the label to understand the ingredients, right? That's what you're doing. So listen carefully. I'm going to give you the hack. I'm going to give you the secret codes, the Willy Wonka golden ticket, the key to help you smash these tenses, because it is a problem for a lot of teachers, and they get really anxious about the fact that they don't know them, or they think they know them. I mean, they know they can use them. You can speak beautiful English, but do you know how to label the language, the parts of speech, the type of sentence, the tense? These are the things I can help you with. And by the way, I'm a TEFL coach. Check the link below. You can spend an hour with me for just $30 and I'll fix all your grammar problems. I can do it. I've been teaching, training, recruiting teachers in Thailand and for Cambodia for 22 years. I know my grammar. I can help you with anything related to teaching. And there's a plane going overhead. And it says, learn grammar with Gary on the back. Yeah, see? Now listen. Let's think about the tenses, all right? I know I'm in a cafe here by the beach, and I haven't got my board or a PowerPoint, but I want to just give you a few pointers, some little steps to help you understand this situation. It's not that complicated when you get your head around it. So let's think about it. What we got? We got present, past, and future, right? They're the timelines. We've got the present, the past, and the future. Okay, 3. And let's look at the categories. You've got simple tenses, continuous tenses, perfect tenses, and perfect continuous tenses. There's 4 categories down the left side, right? Now, remember, you're labeling. You're not thinking about the timeline. If I show you a sentence, don't instantly try to work out the name of the tense because of what that person is doing, has been doing, or did, or done. Doesn't work like that. You're just trying to figure out the label. What is its name? That's it. Okay? So, here's what to do. When you see a sentence, first of all, find the verbs. Ignore all of those other bits, the prepositions, the adjectives, the noun. Don't even look at it. Don't even look at the fact that he's in his bedroom now. So if he's in his bedroom now, it must be present. Don't look at that at all. Just find the verbs. Let's look at the present continuous and the present simple. So the present simple is the most basic form of our language, right? So you've got a subject, a pronoun, and a verb. If there are no ing verbs, if there are no past participles, it must be a simple sentence. So, eat. Is eat in the present, the past, or the future? Eat's in the present, so it's present simple. That's the label. Yeah? So, let's have a look at another sentence. I ate pizza last night. Don't think about last night. Don't think about the pizza. I, subject, ate. Ate. So, ate is a verb. In that sentence, there's no ing. There's no past participle. There's no have or has. So it must be a simple tense, right? Ate is in the past. Past simple. You see? These are the labels. It gets more difficult. I know you're like, oh, this is easy. I know. But it gets more difficult. Let's move down to the continuous tenses, right? So, I am eating. I'm eating. I am eating. I'm eating. Let's look at that sentence. So what are the verbs? Am and eating. Right, so am and eating. Don't care what you're eating. Don't care who's eating it. Let's talk about the verbs. So am and eating. Let's start with am. Always start from the left. Read the label. Am. Is am, which is the verb to be, right? Is am are. Am, is it present or past? am. Present. Good. Well done. So present, that's the first part of the label. Eating. So we know eat is the simple form. Eating, that's the continuous form of the verb. ing means continuous. Let's go back to the start. Present, am, ing, present continuous. There's the label. We don't need to think about who's doing what and what they're doing and what they're eating. We just isolate the verbs and make the name of the label. Okay, let's move down to the perfect tenses. This is where it gets a bit more difficult. But actually, if you listen to me, I can make it really simple. So how do we make the perfect tenses? Okay, so the perfect tenses are formed using have or has or had. Now, have or has, they exist because of the pronoun, right? I have, she has. Hui! All right, I'm doing grammar. So, have or has, present or past? Present, good. So, present, there's your label, right? First part, present, label, okay. Had, past. So if it's had, it'll be past. So present, yeah, present. The verb you see is eaten. So eaten is what? It's the past participle, yeah? It's verb 3. That's what they say in Asia, verb 3. So the past participle. So here's the golden ticket, the Willy Wonka ticket. If you see have or has or had, that determines present or past. Connected with a past participle, that means it's a perfect tense. So have eaten, present perfect, because there's a past participle connected to the verb have or has. And if it was had eaten, it would be past perfect, because had is the past. Had plus past participle is the perfect tense, so the label is past perfect. All right, let's drop down to now let's stay with perfect, because I want to bring in the future now. Let's go with future perfect. So I have eaten pizza, present perfect. I had eaten pizza, past perfect. How do we make the future? And here's the thing, you don't need to start thinking so if I will, you don't need to start thinking of the timeline. What you do is future, if you ever see will, it means future. That's the label. So you take the label, the verb will, and you drop it in after the pronoun. I will have eaten. Will, future. Have, present. Present plus past participle is perfect. I will have eaten is future perfect, yeah? Future perfect. There you go. Let's go down to the perfect continuous tenses. This is a bit more complex. This is where things get a bit more difficult. So now you need the verb been, which is the past participle of go, yeah? Been. So been plays a big part in this. Let's look at a sentence. I have been eating pizza for 10 years. I have been eating pizza for 10 years. Forget the 10 years, doesn't matter. Forget who, doesn't matter. It could be I, she, they, we, whatever. Where are the verbs? Have been eating. There's 3 verbs, right? Have been eating. So have, past or present. Present. Been. Ooh, that's a past participle. So have plus been, that makes perfect. So present perfect. And the ing. Do you remember ing? What does that mean? Ing means continuous. Have, present. Have plus been, perfect. Ing, continuous. Present, perfect, continuous. That's it. That's the label. Don't think about what's happening in the timeline. What about future perfect continuous? Can you figure it out? Future perfect continuous. So present perfect continuous is I have been eating. Past perfect continuous, I had been eating. Future, we don't change anything. We use the present, and what do? We drop in the future, and the future is will. I will have been eating pizza for 10 years by the time you wake up. You know, something like that. You have to add on additional clauses, additional tenses to make things make sense. Sometimes people say, I don't talk like that. But when you join tenses together, it starts to make sense, right? Did that help? I hope it did. If you want to practice with me, check the link below. Spend an hour with me. It's fun. It can give you so much more confidence when you walk into a class. They say knowledge is power, and it is. You'll be like, okay, students, please read the sentence, tell me the type of sentence, and give me the tense, yeah? So, you kind of end up wanting them to ask questions or asking them to explain things that you already know the answer to, rather than avoiding it, rather than kind of feeling really embarrassed about it. Don't feel embarrassed, but learn it. And sometimes learning it on a TEFL course where there's so much theory just bombarding you and confusing the shit out of you. Talk to me. I can help you with your grammar. I can help you to teach effectively. I have a process called the lesson flow. I've been here for 22 years. I know what I'm doing. Book a session, all right? There's a special promotion, 50% off, just $30, and you can milk me like a dairy cow. Whatever it is you want to do. All right. Like, share, subscribe. Practice those tenses, and hopefully, I really hope that this rambling lecture from an old TEFL goat has been helpful. Comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Ask me a question. Send me an email. I'll send you my WhatsApp number. We can talk. See you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.